start the second pitch of the night. We have Brandon Briscoe from Linkup Point here. Briscoe, apologies for that. But whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right. Hi, I'm Brandon Briscoe. I'm the founder and CEO of Linkup Point. Linkup Point is the LinkedIn for sports. It's a sports and recreation network that helps people find sports partners, mentors, guides, trips, and expertise. Our platform is live at linkup-point.com, and our mobile app is also live on the Apple and Android app stores. I'm an avid ski mountaineer, rock climber, ice climber, hiker, and martial artist. And I've found that it's generally hard to find the right partners and mentors. They need to have the right skills, experience, fitness, certifications, availability, do the same styles, have the same interests. And this was really acute for me when in 2019, I was getting ready for a Denali, Alaska climb. And I was skiing 14ers every weekend, and I was usually doing them solo. And this is despite being active in the Colorado Mountain Club, being on many Facebook sports groups, trying different apps, and it didn't work for me very well, and I just ended up going solo even though I wanted partners. And I found that most recreationists either have this problem or have had this problem at some point in the past. And it's really acute for technical mountain sports, but it's applicable to most sports. And current solutions just aren't working because if you try an in-person club, it takes too long for that networking to happen. We're talking years. If you do a niche app, that's not good if you're a multi-sport recreationist. Most of us do a couple different things. We'd like to just go to one place. Or it's too simple, so it doesn't solve the trust gap, where you have to go from stranger online to trusted partner that you're going to meet on the trailhead. So any solution has to somehow solve that trust gap. And then how do you get expertise to progress? We believe the solution is a holistic sports platform, where, like Linkup Point, we have 80+ sports and recreational activities represented. And it's detailed for each sport, so it's going to be really functional for each one that you do on there. And then profiles become sports resumes. So it becomes the LinkedIn for sports. So to solve that trust gap, you can actually look at this person's background. What are their certifications? What's their experience? Are there other relevant sports that they do? And you can find out if you want to go out with them. And search and community tools. So a detailed search for partners, mentors, guides, coaches, instructors, and community spaces to meet, share, and engage. And this isn't just for amateurs, this is also for pros. So bringing the whole industry into this. So our live platform right now has 5 main features. So the first is profiles that become sports resumes, the partner finder, where you could either do a really simple search or you could really get into the weeds and search by certifications in a sport. Then groups, which is like Facebook sports groups, but they're all sports focused. Trips and events, you could join one, you could host your own. The difference is now you can actually look at the host, you can look at other people going, and you can evaluate if this is a group or a trip that you want to be part of. Then we have the sports feed, which is like a Facebook activity feed. That's where you can see everything that's going on. But as opposed to Facebook that's going to feed you a bunch of garbage, you can actually filter by sport, by location, by date, and be purposeful with your time for what you're doing. This summer, we're really excited about building the partner board, which will make it really easy for people to solicit for partners. Just simply the sport, the location, the objective, the dates, who wants to join me. And then for expertise. So I said, how do you learn? So people subscribing for premium content to learn. We're about more than just a digital platform. We also have a mission. And our mission is to increase recreation participation and progression and to support the recreational community and environment. We really want to fix social media with positive purpose. So we become a public benefit corporation, and we partnered with organizations like the Access Fund that promotes recreational access and environmental stewardship. And we're also aligned with Colorado state initiatives, like in the Colorado Comprehensive Outdoor Recreation Plan, which their very first priority, first objective, states break down barriers and technology connects more people to the outdoors. And that's exactly what we're doing. Here's Chris. So I'm just going to read right off of Chris's profile on Linkup Point. He says, "This season is my third backcountry snowboarding. My primary motivation for joining this group is to find touring partners. One obstacle to getting out as often as I'd like has been finding partners. I had the opportunity to meet Chris when he came out for one of my ski mountaineering trips, and he went out on 3 other trips with people that he had met on Linkup Point. And he said, quote, "I'm super excited for the future of Linkup Point as I think it has great potential to fill the outdoor world's need for a partner finder and outdoor activity-focused social space." So looking at the U.S. recreation market, there's 161 million active recreationists. Through the Linkup Point business model, that's a $26 billion opportunity. If we look at the serviceable obtainable market, we're honing in on 66 million Americans for a $1 billion opportunity. And our beachhead is right here in Colorado with 1.7 million Colorado recreationists that are ages 18 to 54 and are in key sports like hiking, biking, climbing, backcountry skiing and snowboarding, and kayaking. And this is a $21 million opportunity. Looking at the competition, we like to think of it in terms of, is this a really niche app, or is this something broad that I can use for all the different sports that I do? Or is it really simple, like generic social media that's not built for sports? Or is it really detailed, solving a specific purpose? And so we're positioning ourselves that we're both broad with 80+ sports, but we're also highly detailed, so it's actually going to work for you when you try to use it for each of those sports. And this differentiates us from our competitors like Mountain Project, which is only for climbing, and it works okay, or Pastimes, which is very broad. It has most of the sports that we do, but the profiles are very simple, so I'm not sure how that solves the problem of the trust gap to really figure out who you actually want to go out and recreate with. So for our business and revenue model, first of all, there's the advertising hosting, where we're charging $3 on average per click for advertising hosting. And we're providing highly targeted advertising opportunities. And unlike Facebook, we have detailed customer-supplied user data. So we don't have to track people all over the internet like Facebook and violate their privacy. They tell us what they do and how they do it, and we serve up things that are relevant to them. And this could be for gear, or it could be highlighting events and services. We also want to give people the opportunity to subscribe for premium content and expertise, so they could take courses or read premium articles from high-end athletes and coaches, and they'd be paying $10 on average for this monthly subscription fee, or they could just be paying for an ad-free experience or to get gear discounts. For traction, we have 650 registered users on the platform right now. We've been growing 12 to 20% per month this year. We have 100 weekly active users each week, average about 8 monthly trips and events, and we have 15 sports professionals and 9 guiding companies on there right now. For our go-to-market strategy, there's digital marketing, both free and paid, building the brand. There's event outreach like this American Alpine Club event in Colorado. Influencer outreach like Coulter, who's a pro skier here and also a friend of mine. Alyssa Ringo, she's our very first Linkup Point ambassador. She's a pro mountain biker that just came in 3rd at the Vail Mountain Games. And then people like Chris that are happy to tell people about Linkup Point. For our financial projections, we're looking at growing to $108 million in yearly revenue by 2027. And that would leverage 4.5 million unique monthly active users in 2027. And this would also be a pre-seed round of $500K, as well as a seed round of $1.5 million to really accelerate us and get on this scalable trajectory. For the team, there's myself. I have a business degree from MIT. I was a U.S. Army engineering captain for 8 years, and I'm a really experienced athlete and trip leader, been doing this all my life. Rahul is my CTO and co-founder. He has a computer science degree from ASU. Formerly, he was the CTO and co-founder of Eyes to AI, an AI computer vision company, and he was the co-founder of the ASU Developer Student Club. As for the $50K grant, we're going to use this to refine our product market fit, try to get 5,000 registered members, give us runway for this pre-seed raise, And then for the company's 6-month budget out to December, I've broken down how we would use the $50K, and we have that 60% for team compensation, 24% for marketing, and then 16% for software and services. And we believe that we deserve this grant because we're a high-potential, high-growth business, expanding the recreation market in a positive, mission-focused way, and we're growing Colorado Springs' sports tech ecosystem. There's my contact information. I'm happy to take your questions at this time.
So when you get two people meeting up and let's just say somebody has bad intentions, male-female dynamic, what's your liability risk and how do you cover that?
Yeah, so we've talked to lawyers about that, and so right now our terms of service are such that we're only responsible for what happens on the platform. So the moment this goes off the platform, we're not responsible for what happens there. So really people have to accept responsibility for that. In the future, we would like to purchase insurance to cover that because liabilities do happen, but we've tried to really write a robust terms of service for us to begin so that we don't have problems with that. As far as maybe other kinds of unwanted activity, it really just depends on trust, and I think allowing people to really have a full resume of who they are and what they do will allow someone to evaluate, is this someone that I want to go out there and meet, or is this not? In the same way that you might use LinkedIn for any of your business activities to really evaluate somebody, maybe even before you talk to them.
So you had a nice analogy in there about beachhead for your target market in Colorado. Mm-hmm. 1.7 million individuals in Colorado who are in some form of recreation. You also mentioned you have 80 sports. So I like how you kind of defined the target market in Colorado. My question for you is, if you have 80 sports, which 3 would you pick to focus on if you could?
Right, so right now we're focusing first of all on backcountry skiing and snowboarding. That's where there's a high need to have just the right partner, to have the right skills, to have the right experience. There's also risks involved. So for example, right now you can say if you have an ARI certification, which is an avalanche certification that's pretty much the standard in a lot of different snow sports. So you could see, so some people are serious about that. Like they will only go out with people who are actually certified with ARI standards. And you can look at that. So I think that's a great opportunity for us where there's this huge need of people looking for this matchmaking, looking for the right thing. The other one is in climbing. So also climbing, you need partners. They need to have the right skills, right? It's the same thing. And then just to broaden it up, the next one is hiking, just to open it up to a larger number of people. Some people like to hike solo. Some people prefer partners. Sometimes it's technical, and you really should have partners out there. So that would be opening it up to a larger audience for the hiking.
So maybe just a quick follow-up then would be, so if you're going to focus on those 3, how are you tactically doing that within the app or the website to make sure that dollars you're spending are being driven towards those 3 in particular? Is that occurring, or is this?
Yeah, right. So we started doing some initial paid marketing on Facebook and Instagram. At first, it was all just organic, joining relevant sports groups, kind of doing this grassroots, like making Linkup Point trips, going out, getting material, and then posting it in those groups. Now that we've transitioned to more paid, we can really focus. Like Facebook will let you choose the different sports that you're trying to target for people. Same thing with Instagram. If we go to events, we can choose, go to a climbing event, go to hiking. Hiking is so generic that could be a lot of different events. But I've even been able to target an audience and say, like, okay, this audience does skiing and they do hiking and they do climbing, and that's what I'm targeting. And so that's how we're focusing on it. But I try to play this balance at the same time, saying, well, we are for all sports. And I see people signing up like, someone signed up and they're a martial artist. I'm also a martial artist. I said, hey, I see you want to climb, but maybe we can get together to practice our martial arts as well. And so that's like the benefit of having this wide platform as well.
So my question is really kind of around just the age demographic and who will use it. So 18 to 54, we're talking specifically about the Colorado market. And so, like, I'm in that market. I'm not from Wisconsin. I'm from Colorado. So sorry, gentlemen. But, you know, absolutely. I do 14ers and I do hiking and I do, you know, a lot of things in there. But when I look at just kind of the information here and the people that are there, I mean, it really does seem to be more, you're looking for, you know, some professional athletes and people that can do like some more extreme sports. And so the question is really around, who's really the target demographic there? Is it really for the 18 to 54, or, you know, for somebody like me who I like to go out, do things and do fun things? Like, I get it when you're talking about, because I'm a rock climber too. If you want to find a partner who has good technical ability, that makes sense. But kind of for everything else, it's like, well, I might not do backcountry skiing per se, and I might look at this and be like, well, this is a little intimidating. This is for pros and people that are younger, healthier, you know, whatever. And it's like, well, I might not do it because I don't feel like I'm at that level of expertise to be able to do it. So is there a different kind of demographic that people are using it, or really, no, it's 18 to 54? That's kind of the question.
Yeah, so from my experience of seeing people join Linkup Point and then actually talking to them when they come out to trips or interacting with them on the platform, I find that I'm actually getting a mix of people who are beginners just trying to get into the sport, and then I'm seeing people who are more advanced in the sport and maybe they just didn't have the right partners. And so I am seeing a mix, and I'm intentional about that when I'm doing my marketing, because sometimes I want to speak to this more advanced, more extreme audience, and then sometimes I want to speak to like the beginners that want kind of just a welcoming environment to try to get into it. And so I think with our marketing, we can kind of do both. You know, some of them might be oriented towards that advanced audience. Some of them would be toned down a little bit more for someone who just wants to go on a simple hike or something. You know, and right now I'm seeing a lot of people joining who are actually from a lot of different backgrounds.
So based on that, if I was to create a profile, would I be able to select beginner, moderate, pro, and that would kind of filter the relevant content for me, or I would be able to essentially pick what I'm looking for and not necessarily just be out on this platform where there's just too many options?
Yeah, so like for your platform, depending on the sport, it's going to switch over to what's most relevant for that sport. So like if it's climbing, you're actually going to go into YDS scale and you're going to put like, I'm a 5'9" sport climber, I'm a 5'8" trad climber, and then that's going to help you find other people very specifically who you're looking for. And then, you know, in the future, we'd like to implement more and more functionality to kind of curate the content that you're going to see in the activity feed to be super relevant to you. Right now, we just give the users the ability up front, like you can filter it for what you want to see. So our whole idea is be intentional with your time, have this be a purposeful place, so you can go and, you know, look in a particular sport and see what you're looking for.
Thank you.
So let's say it's 2027, you've hit your goal of revenue of 108 million. How many employees would you project to cover that scale?
Yeah, so right now,
what do those jobs look like?
Yeah, so right now in our estimate, we have 30 people built into there. You know, that team might end up being larger, but right now in our projections, like that's a 30-person team, and it's really a mix of the core engineering team making a great product, but then you also have the marketing team, since a lot of this is really a marketing play effort here. And then, of course, you have the support and operations side once you have people actually subscribing and you have companies trying to advertise.
What kind of revenue do you have going on right now?
We are pre-revenue right now. So right now, it's just a free platform, building that free core. And that core is always going to be there. It's going to be like Facebook or LinkedIn, where anybody can join for free. But then we're going to be working to get better and better at the monetization for it, either on the subscription side, offering people, you know, better content and better options that really make them want to subscribe. And I think that's really the way to go. Like even Snapchat just recently said they're going to launch a subscription service. But then again, you know, you have Facebook doing extremely well just on the advertising, and I think we have a bit of an advantage in this discussion about privacy issues with Facebook, that we can be really transparent about how we get this data and then be really relevant for people. So yeah, we want to be monetizing by the fall. Right now, we just need to create a really great sticky core product for people to join for free and have a good experience.